other world news, US President Joe Biden is all set to meet with his Chinese counterpart, the Chinese President Xi Jinping. It's the first face-to-face meeting between the two, aimed at curbing tensions between the world's top superpowers. A detailed report. Take a look.
Heads of states and leaders from 21 Pacific countries will meet in San Francisco next week for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. All eyes will be on the expected bilateral meeting between US President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping. This will be the second in-person meeting in almost 3 years. The pair met at the G20 in Bali a year ago. But an agreement to stabilize ties was short-lived after Biden administration shot down a Chinese spy balloon traversing the continental US. The Apec leaders will gather to discuss how to better spur trade, investment and economic growth across the Pacific region, and how to tackle crucial issues from climate change to artificial intelligence. Patricia Kim, who specializes in China policy at the Brookings Institution, says that the relationship between US and China is at a historic low.
Well, I think it's fair to say that US-China relations is certainly at one of the lowest points in history. And so there's a lot of work to be done to stabilize the relationship. I think there is a recognition on both sides that, it's not going to be possible to negotiate away all the differences that exist or the points of friction. But we have seen positive momentum in recent weeks.
And a Biden-Xi meeting would bring a much-needed stability to relations between the two countries.
And I think this is based on a recognition in both Washington and Beijing that without stabilizing the US-China relationship, without better channels of communication, there's a real chance that the two sides could stumble into a conflict, which would not be in the interests of anyone involved.
China expert Scott Kennedy of the Center for Strategic and International Studies says the actual summit deserves attention in its own right.
Particularly with this meeting, we should see progress on a variety of efforts to facilitate trade throughout the region, address issues of climate change finance, and a variety of other issues that come on the Apec agenda. So it's some of these things won't get the headlines of the Xi Jinping-Biden meeting, but in terms of overall American influence in trying to shape the world in a way that's consistent with our economic, political interests and our values, the APEC meeting matters a lot.
The APEC summit kicks off on Saturday and will run through November 7th. Agency Report, Republic TV.
And in a pivotal prelude to the 5th edition of the India-US 2+2 Ministerial Dialogue, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and US Secretary of State Antony Blinken engaged in talks centered around the ongoing Hamas-Israel conflict. The meeting aimed at deepening the India-US strategic partnership and addressing key regional issues.
The 2+2 ministerial talks in the national capital were led by US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Defense Minister Rajnath Singh. Both countries held extensive deliberations to further expand their global strategic partnership through great defense industrial ties.
The dialogue today will be an opportunity to advance the vision of our respective leaders, building a forward-looking partnership while we construct a shared global agenda. In the 2+2, we will undertake, as we have done before, a comprehensive overview of cross-cutting strategic defense and security ties, technology and supply chain collaborations, and people-to-people exchanges.
Key focus was on enhancing engagement in the Indo-Pacific and boosting cooperation in areas such as critical minerals and high technology.
we have been taking very concrete steps to deliver on the vision that our two leaders put forward. We are promoting a free and open, prosperous, secure, and resilient Indo-Pacific, including by strengthening our partnership through the Quad with Japan and Australia. One significant way we're doing that is by enhancing maritime domain awareness, sharing commercial satellite data with countries in the region to boost their capacity, for example, to combat illegal fishing, piracy, drug trafficking. We're also coordinating humanitarian relief and disaster response efforts in the Indo-Pacific. We're harnessing together the power of innovation to make our economies more resilient and to make our communities more secure.
Hailing the ties, EAM also noted the PM Modi's visit to the US had opened a new chapter in the India-US relationship. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh called defense one of the most important pillars of the India-US bilateral relationship.
I welcome both of you and your delegation of India. The India-US bilateral relationship has seen a growing convergence of strategic interests and enhanced defense, security, and intelligence cooperation. Defense remains one of the most important pillars of our bilateral relationship.
While the US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin praised the impressive gains in the defense ties.
We're meeting at a time of great momentum. In the United States and India partnership. In the face of urgent global challenges, it's more important than ever that the world's two largest democracies exchange views, find common goals, and deliver for our people. We've made impressive gains in building our major defense partnership over the past year, and that will help us contribute even more together to the cause of peace and stability.
The deep ties between India and US were on full display at the 2+2 ministerial dialogue in New Delhi. Bureau Report, Republic TV.